I just finished knitting Joinery by Yumiko Alexander, and today I want to do a review of that pattern and a review of my yarn choice and let you know what I thought of it. My name's Amanda. I'm an average knitter, and I like to talk about things that I've made, things that I'm making and want to make, and tips and tricks that have helped me along the way. If you're liking my content, please think about subscribing to my channel, liking the video, and let me know in the comments if you've made joinery and what you thought of it, and do you enjoy wearing yours? Let's get right into what drew me to this pattern and what's not to love about these photos of Yumiko styling and wearing it on the pattern page. And I kept going back and looking and thinking, I don't have the same body type that she has. And I don't know if that particular type of top would really look good on me. Would I enjoy it? And I'd never really knit in that type of plant fiber before, 100% linen. And I've been tricked before, choosing a pattern that didn't look good on my body type, making a bad choice of a yarn substitution and not liking how things turned out. And then sometimes it comes down to that I really liked the color in the picture, but I didn't really like the pattern. So I waited. Fast forward to this summer, I just kept being drawn back to it. And so I went into the Ravelry project pages and I found some women who had knit this with my body type and it looked good on them. And so I went through and I looked at different color choices and I decided that I was going to make it because last year and this year I have a goal of knitting things that are different construction, a little bit out of my comfort zone, and trying new fibers of yarn. So I bought the pattern and I chose my yarn. So a little bit more about this pattern, just the basics. It comes in 5 chest circumference sizes. The smallest is a 47 and the largest is a 63. It's meant to be oversized. Comes in 3 lengths, an 18-inch length, a 20 1/2 inch length, and a 23 1/4 inch length. I chose the 47 inch and the 20 1/2. My chest circumference is a 40 or 41 on any given day. And I like a little bit oversized, but not much more than about 5 inches of positive ease on myself. The recommended needle size is a US 9 or 5.5 millimeter needle with worsted weight yarn, which is her Dando brand is what she recommended. And the gauge is 16 inches per 4 inches with, I think, 24 rows in stockinette stitch. She gave excellent instructions on how to wet block it. Since I'd never knit with 100% linen before, I was kind of nervous because if you've ever knit with it, it can feel kind of stiff and the stitches don't really flow. It doesn't feel drapey as you're knitting it. And part of that was the linen that I chose. I chose Barocco modern linen, which is 1 weight smaller than what she suggested. So her suggested yarn weight was worsted, and the Barocco modern linen is DK. I did do my gauge swatch in with a size 9 US needle, and I got the gauge. I was really happy that I didn't have to do a second gauge swatch. I don't mind gauge swatching, but we really want to get into the fun part of the knitting. A little bit more about the construction that drew me to it was that it is knit in 5 panels, and there's a little bit of lace for interest, and stockinette. It's knit back and forth, and the thing that really drew me to it was her join as you go method. So after you knit one panel, the next panel, as you're knitting, you just knit it into the previous panel. And what you end up getting are kind of like a cable-y looking thing where they're joined. And that was really neat. So the panels themselves are not joined traditionally in a pieced together garment. The shoulders and the sides are pieced together more traditionally, but it's not a lot. So it there wasn't anything that I consider really hard about the pattern, but it was so engaging. It just kept me wanting to keep knitting it and coming back for more. And when I say wanting to keep knitting it, was after the initial part. And I'm going to share a little video with you in a little bit about me going through the construction and what I thought about what I learned about the yarn and what I learned about the pattern based on my own personal knitting. And then at the very end of the video, I want to share some B-roll with you of me styling it to decide how I want to wear it. Do I want to wear it with jeans? Do I want to wear it with a skirt, with a dress? And do I think that I will wear it? Do I really like it for myself? Or is it going to be a gift for somebody? Let's get on to the next section of the video. If I haven't mentioned it, yes, this is knit back and forth, and it is knit in 5 panels. She labels them A through E. I want to talk a little first about the yarn. The yarn I chose was Barocco Modern Linen. It is labeled light, so a DK weight. The pattern called for worsted weight, which was her Dando brand. I knitted this up in the needles that they suggested, the needle size suggested, which were a US 9 or 5.5 millimeter needles. And I got the right gauge after I blocked it, so I was very happy. So another thing that drew me to this yarn was that it was in my local yarn shop, and I like supporting my local yarn shop. Some things I learned about this yarn is that I did not like it, how it behaved when I tried to wind it on my ball winder. So I ended up winding it like so off my squirrel, which I'll pop a picture of that in. I don't have an umbrella swift. I have a different contraption to hold my yarn as I'm winding it. The other thing I learned about this yarn, it is very splitty. So this panel that I'm showing you is blocked, and you can see after blocking that it splits even more. So that was a challenge for me to learn how to knit with it. So what I did for the splittiness was I tied knots in the ends of my yarn, the free ends of my yarn, so they just wouldn't keep getting more and more messy. The other thing I learned when I was blocking this is that I love the saturation of the color of this yarn, but it did mild to moderately bleed. So if you are using a contrast color with it that's a lot lighter, use a color catcher so you don't muddy up your colors. So the very first panel, the other thing I learned about myself in knitting with this linen and this yarn is she has you knit, this is panel A, so you start straight away with your lace pattern. And as you can see, I know about myself that I do have some tension problems, so not all of my lace eyelets look uniform, but I kept making mistakes, dropping stitches. It was very, very hard for me to read my knitting. And so I just had to be at peace with this is just going to look imperfect. And it is hand knitting. It's not knit by a machine. And I'm going to be very happy with that. And I know that about myself. So I just didn't want to keep starting over and over and over because I made a mistake. So I just accepted this not being perfect. So moving on, you can see here we come up the back is where she has something where you call join as you go. So even though it's knit back and forth in 5 panels, the only seaming that you'll do is a little bit along the sides and at the top of the shoulder, and all the panels are joined by what she calls this join as you go. Looks like just like a little rope winding around itself. And you join through the eyelets. I'll show you how that's done. She also has a link in the pattern that takes you to the join as you go and shows you how to do it. I do want to show you how much improved I got knitting. Look at my lace pattern here. I think that looks really beautiful and really nice. So what I learned about myself is that if I had to start with a lace pattern with a yarn I'm not familiar with, I would have practiced more before I knit this panel so I could maybe get my tension a little bit better. But overall, I'm super happy with this. Let me show you the front panels. I'm almost done with them. I'm a little tangled up here. So my contrast color was gray. This panel right here is the front right body. And then you can see one thing I really loved was this join as you go, how that looks. You can see how the lace pattern looks unblocked. And again, I got much better at my lace pattern. There is lace detailing up along the top shoulders. I'm not quite there yet. I still have about 30 something or so rows. These are 8 row repeats, so 8, 16, 30 something rows. So this will also have a little bit of lace detailing. I'll pop in a little bit of the demo of the join as you go, but I really found that by the time I got to the front, I really found um, that I got so much better knitting with the linen that I was glad that she started me with the back, or started the pattern with the back, even though I could have knit the front first. I'm glad I did the back first and got more imperfections in that. So I'm looking forward to blocking this and then coming back and showing you how I liked it. And I will throw in just a little footage of the join as you go so you can see how that works. So here I'm going to show you the join as you go method. I made a little mistake. I'm on my first row of the lace patterning of the last panel. I'm only supposed to have 4 stitches here, but somehow I got an extra stitch somewhere, so I'm just going to knit 2 together twice. I'm going to remove this marker. And there is video, a link to the video in her pattern that shows you how to do this, but basically remove that marker, and I'm going to take my left needle. Make sure you don't drop your stitches and make sure you don't twist your work. And then you simply put your needle there. I'm supposed to knit 2 together and then just knit 2, but since I have stitches, what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit 2 together, knit 1, and then knit 2 together, so I'm back to the 48 stitches I should have instead of 49 since I'm working the lace pattern. And you can see how that joined it, and now I have the correct amount of stitches so I won't mess up my lace pattern on my way back. So now for the fun part, I'm going to show you how I styled it with a few different bottoms. First of all, I want to say that I really liked the contrast of the color of the top with each of the bottom pairings. And I also put a black camisole underneath it since the laciness and the open gauge, I didn't want it to be too see-through. The first pairing that you'll see is with a short black skirt. I really liked the flowiness of the skirt with the top. I thought that the flowiness between the top and the bottom contrast was nice. The skirt was more flowy than the top. I really liked it. The contrast I did not care for were my Casper white legs with the black skirt. It was very distracting. I know that sounds a little vain. I'm typically not very vain, but if I want to really go for what I think looks the best, I didn't care for the contrast between my legs and the black skirt. The second pairing is with a long A-line black skirt. I really did like this pairing. The extra flowiness of the skirt compared to what the flowiness of the top was great. Contrast was great. Felt very comfortable. I feel like this looks very much my style. I also like the way the top fits me, and I'm liking this pairing. The third pairing is with a pair of dark denim jeans. I think it looks okay, but I'm not sure that I'm super crazy about it. And I think what I'm not super crazy about is that they're skinny jeans, and the contrast of how much tighter the jeans are versus the positive ease of the top. I don't think I'm super crazy about it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. And it's pretty hot and humid here in Louisville, Kentucky in the summer, and I don't typically wear jeans then. So So far, yeah, this is probably not my favorite. The next pairing is with an above the knee, short, medium colored denim skirt. And I'm liking this. And it surprised me because I thought the structure of the denim skirt, because it is fitted, more like a pencil skirt, that I wouldn't like the contrast of the lack of flow of the skirt and the more flowiness of the top. But I really do like that contrast. And the other thing is I don't mind the contrast of my legs with the color of the denim skirt. So this one I'm really liking. The last pairing is with a long gray skirt. This gray skirt doesn't have as much flow. It is more of a straight line down, but I still like it. I actually think I might like the more subtle contrast of the gray panel with the gray skirt than I did with the darker bottom and the black skirts. And I'm pretty much digging this one too. Out of all of these pairings, I almost have a three-way tie, I think. I can't really decide. Please let me know what you think. I loved the dark gray long skirt, I liked the black long skirt, and I liked the short denim skirt. Those are my top three. And I think, I don't know if I have a favorite, but it would depend on where I'm going and what I'm doing with what I would choose. Overall, I really loved this pattern. It was very well written. I liked my yarn choice, although I think I would have liked it better if I chose a yarn that wasn't as splitty as this one, although I got used to it. I liked the color of the yarn that I chose. I liked the way it fit me, so I picked the right size. And I don't know if I would knit it again, but I definitely would recommend it for somebody else who doesn't want a project that is too difficult, but that will keep you engaged throughout the whole thing. So this is a 2 thumbs up pattern for me. Again, if you've knit it, tell me how you liked it. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.